Hello everyone, my name is Junkershiryu. How are you guys doing today? I'm here to tell you guys about a special ship from the Germans, actually called the Tirpitz. I've seen lots of videos on this ship specifically, and none of which have really touched on this ship's significant history and what it means to be a German battleship. So, leading into that, I will actually give you guys over to my one of my really good friends, Virgil, and he'll tell you guys about the ship right now.
Hey guys, I'm Virgil118. I'm going to give you a little bit of a profile on the German battleship Tirpitz. Tirpitz was the second of two Bismarck-class battleships and was the last battleship built for the Kriegsmarine, which is the name for the World War II German Navy. She was commissioned in February 1941 and was named for Gross Admiral Alfred von Tirpitz. The Tirpitz was 251 meters long, 36 meters wide, and displaced just under 43,000 tons standard with a 9.3 meter draft at the time of her commissioning. She had a considerably advanced power plant for her time, consisting of 12 superheated oil-burning boilers and 3 geared turbine sets, which operated at a high pressure of about 58 kilograms per square centimeter and a temperature of about 450 degrees Celsius. Basically, all that mumbo-jumbo equates to a maximum speed of just under 31 knots and a range of approximately 8,800 nautical miles at 19 knots. Tirpitz's machinery and fuel capacity were marginally superior to Bismarck's at the cost of the thickness of her main armor belt. And the armored citadel on Tirpitz was protected by 315 millimeters of vertical armor, that's as opposed to 320 on the Bismarck, with 220 millimeter transverse bulkheads at the fore and aft ends. Horizontal protection in both Bismarck-class ships were provided by an 80 millimeter upper deck, which fused incoming warheads, and then a 120 millimeter armor deck below that, which shielded the lower decks from the resulting explosions. Tirpitz's main battery was more conservative than her machinery and armor, as it consisted of 8 38-centimeter SKC-34 guns in 4 twin turrets. These were placed in super-firing pairs forward and aft of the superstructure. As designed, Tirpitz's secondary battery consisted of 12 single-purpose 15-centimeter SKC-28 guns in 6 dual turrets, placed 3 per side of the superstructure. Against air targets, Tirpitz was defended by 16 10.5-centimeter C-32s, and 16 3.7cm C-30s, each in 8 dual mounts, alongside 12 2cm flak 30s in single mounts. Unlike Bismarck, whose operational career was far too short for many changes, Tirpitz received a number of modifications throughout her 3 years of service. Most notably, before deploying to Norway, Tirpitz was equipped with 8 53.3cm torpedo tubes in 2 quadruple mounts placed to either side of the superstructure at the waist. The ship also gradually had its number of 2cm flak 30 mounts increased to 58, though at that point most of the mounts were quadruple flak-furling mounts. Completed shortly before Bismarck's lone deployment and declared combat-ready only after her elder sibling's destruction, Tirpitz was a victim of Hitler's subsequent orders that no capital ship was permitted to attempt a breakout into the Atlantic for commerce raiding. As a result, she was instead deployed to various Norwegian fjords beginning in January of 1942. From this location, Tirpitz was intended for use in much shorter-range attacks against Allied supply convoys to the Soviet Union through the Arctic Sea. Unfortunately for the Germans, due to Tirpitz's relatively high fuel consumption and the difficulty of supplying remote parts of Norway, the ship was unable to sortie frequently. Both the British Royal Navy and Royal Air Force made a number of attacks on Tirpitz's various anchorages in an attempt to disable or sink her throughout her deployment to Norway, but none were able to do any substantial damage to the ship before 1944. Tirpitz ultimately met her end on 12 November 1944 when she was hit by 3 5,400-kilogram tallboy bombs dropped by Lancaster heavy bombers. She capsized at her anchorage and was gradually broken up after the war.
Alright, so I've noticed that in the end, I've ended up putting on different upgrades to the ship to, I think, that helped me maximize my playstyle. I went ahead and went with the main battery modification number 1. I went with the gunfire control system, the damage control system, steering gears modification, which was obviously your rudder shift time, and finish it off with target acquisition. All of those things, I believe, give you the edge when playing this against other battleships and cruisers, obviously like the Atlanta, the Cleveland and such, and any other such destroyers that will constantly be shooting non-stop. Now, is this ship worth a buy? I'll leave that decision to yourself. You can watch gameplay, you can see how it performs. I enjoy this ship very, 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 very much. I think it's absolutely amazing, and I've enjoyed actually learning about this ship as well as just playing it in the game. So I think that makes it in its own right worth a purchase.